Welcome to another episode of Brainfood Reviewed. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Melee, the mostly dead male lady, and this is...
Onslow the Undead. I'm Onslow. Dead, undead.
Yeah, undead.
Means dead, but moving around.
Yeah, you know, you still kicking.
Yeah.
You can still cook a Christmas ham.
Are vampires considered undead? They're undead too, right? They're dead, but they're moving around.
They're dead, but they're not dead.
Like
I really
zombies.
feel like all vampires are now stuffed with glitter, and that's just what sustains them forever.
But werewolves are not undead. Lycans are not undead.
No.
Okay.
I think that would be considered a hybrid.
Mummies are undead.
Mummies would be undead, yeah.
Frankenstein,
Frankenstein,
monsters.
Blackenstein, if you're educated.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, how about we talk about a TV show this time instead of a movie?
Show. This is a little different.
Well, we have done TV shows before. We talked about Walking Dead. We talked about Z Nation in the past, and this time I wanted to talk about one that I think is kind of interesting. It's a little more pop culture-y kind of thing, and it's iZombie. It's a non-traditional zombie show.
Right.
So, it stars Rose McIver. She's the star of this show, and I think she makes this show. She does really well in it. She plays character called Olivia Moore.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. But it was developed by the same guy who developed the Veronica Mars show. And it has a similar feel. It's got a little mystery to it. It's almost like a Columbo kind of show with a zombie, but not a zombie. She is a zombie, but she's not a traditional zombie. She's more like us. She thinks and talks and acts normal, except she doesn't have brains coming out of her head.
She just has brains going into her mouth.
She does. That is absolutely true, and that's a critical point in the show, a critical element of the show.
Definitely.
That we're going to talk about a little bit. So let's talk about some of the worst things in the show. And most of these are plot devices in the scripts of the shows that I don't like so much. I mean, that I think are kind of a little bit hokey, a little bit goofy. So anyway, number one is when in every episode, Liv has these visions from a brain that she's eaten that's from that person's life, and they're usually involved in some kind of crime. So she passes them off to this detective who works upstairs from her as visions. She has visions. So my issue is that he just so readily accepts these visions of hers. I'm like, you're a police officer. You don't believe in visions. Come on. It's goofy. But anyway, so I thought I felt that was kind of a worse thing, a negative thing about the show. A second thing that about the show is that a lot of times the way it's written, and it's intricate, but it's sometimes simplistic. Some things are simplistic about it, and there are some things that you can absolutely see coming a million miles away. And I'm like, just go ahead and do whatever it is, or don't do that because you know it's going to turn out bad. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious sometimes. So, all right. Number 3 is that Liv and her coworker, who knows she's a zombie, talk about it all the time. Like every time, just before somebody walks in, I'm like, anybody can walk into your morgue, which is where they work. Stop talking about the fact that she's a zombie. Somebody's going to find out.
Yeah, right out there in public. You know they got security cameras. Somebody's gonna find out.
Yeah. So.
Discretion. Discretion.
Okay. There was an element in one of the episodes where somebody is stopped and he has a Tupperware container with a brain in it. And the cops see it and he's going to get in trouble. And he's like, oh, it's a calf brain. Oh, okay. Here, have your brain back. And, we'll see you later. I'm like, are you real cops? I don't believe you're real cops.
You just encountered
and would you
someone
not know
with a
the
brain.
difference between a calf brain and a human brain?
I think the
Are they similar size,
I think
shape?
the size is actually pretty similar.
So.
However.
And then there's an element where alcohol affects these zombies, and I'm like, I don't think your science is very solid.
What kind of fucking sense does this make?
Does alcohol affect you?
Well,
Now,
on the weekends.
when you're drinking, so most days. Oh, wait, that's me.
Wow. Oh, wait. Sorry. Can't.
You can do that, whatever you want to do.
Whole bunch of mess up here.
Whatever. All right. So let's talk about some of the best things. For me, because I was a fan of the Veronica Mars show as well, it was nice to see some cameos from Veronica Mars people in this particular show. So some of the characters, you had Cliff McCormack, Dick Casablancas, and Wallace Fennell all made appearances during that first season. And so I appreciated that. I like that. Throwback to the people that helped you get where you are. All right.
Those OGs.
There you go. There you go. The show doesn't seem to take itself too seriously, so I like that too. It realizes that it has a lot of comedy elements. It takes those comedy elements and incorporates them into the show.
Right. You can always appreciate a good show that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah. Like review shows.
Like review shows.
Those assholes.
Those
pompous
fucking assholes.
What do they know? I don't know.
Just die.
I did like the tension that built up throughout the season. Like, as it started off, and there was a bigger picture story going on also during the first season, and the tension builds, and I appreciate that too. Very much like the Veronica Mars stuff. It kind of built up throughout the season. I like that. So, pretty awesome. Most of the writing is pretty quick, so there's a lot of stuff that actually happens within the show. So, there are a few elements, like I pointed out earlier, that I didn't like so much, but I like the fact that it's kind of written quickly. Like, it's tight. A lot of it's tight. So, and I thought, and in with that, the motivations for the different characters and the way they act, are right there. Solid. And the final thing that I like about the show is Liv's character when she, a plot element you discover right away, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it happens early on, is that the zombies have to continue to eat brains, fresh brains, to stay healthy, as a healthy human character. If you stop eating brains, then you turn into the traditional mindless zombie.
Yeah.
So when Liv eats these brains, she takes on the characteristics of the person whose brain she ate. So if it's an artist, she starts doing art. If it's a writer, she starts writing. If it's somebody else. So it makes it interesting depending on what brains she's eaten during that particular show. And I thought it was interesting, and I think that Rose McIver plays that very well. So
I would definitely agree. I feel like the season the first season definitely tries to keep your attention going. Yeah. That's its job. I feel as you move forward into the season, it just kind of gets stale. You see a lot of homages to a lot of other previous classic horror zombie movies. And you can respect that at the same time as, it just gets a little boring, because I feel like maybe you're just trying to redo what all these other people have already done plenty of times. So again, while I definitely respect what they did there, I kind of wanted a little more out of it. Maybe I'm a little selfish, but
maybe we all are.
Personal opinion.
Maybe.
As always.
Isn't that our jobs, to give opinions?
That's true.
We're professionals. I hear.
We're professionals.
So keep it professional. So, really, despite some of the bad things, I would say don't wait. See it. Watch that first season. If you don't want to move on beyond that, that's fine. But I think you should give that first season a chance.
Personally, I'd say forget about it. Just personal opinion. Unpopular. I know.
Have you ever read the comic book?
I have not read the comic book.
There is a comic book. It was based on a comic book, but the changes from the comic book to the show are so drastic. It's two different things almost. Huh. Almost.
Well, definitely have to give that a look-see.
Yeah, check that out.
I was unaware of that. You learn something new every day.
Every day. So, what about those fans?
We got another letter today. I love how we're both so excited. There seems to be no end to my sack.
Wah, wah.
We're professionals.
We are. Yeah, except when we're not.
Except when we're not. Oh, this has a little greeting. It has a little greeting. We got hi Onslow and Melee.
Oh, nice. And with a smiley face.
A little smiley face on the other side. A
nice
smiley
skull.
Emoji.
Like a skeleton.
Yeah.
That looks like a long letter.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Hi. My father told me zombies aren't even real and that you're just pretend! Exclamation point. Is this true? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Sad face emoji. I hope not, because all I want to be when I grow up is a zombie. Very sweet. That or maybe a werewolf. But only the kind that can control when they change, not the stupid full moon ones. Anyways, smell y'all's later. End of letter.
End of letter. Well, I can tell you I'm real. I'm right here.
Oh, I'm very real. It's not easy being green.
That's true.
However, he does go on to, oh, excuse me. I don't mean to assume the gender. That was my fault.
One does go on.
But one does go on to say that or maybe a werewolf, but only the kind that can control when they change, not the stupid full moon ones. I feel you there, fan. Or writer. Might not be a fan. That's okay.
Are there, do most werewolves change with the moon?
Well, there are ones that change with the moon. There are ones that change when they get too angry. Or there are ones that just are able to change when they feel like it. I feel, right? I think, if my werewolf movie knowledge is correct. It's been a little minute for me in that department.
I'm trying to think of ones that change whenever they want.
Well, I think the ones in I don't even want to bring up that movie.
Like the bad guys in Harry Potter?
Yeah, we'll go. That's way better than where I was gonna go. the guys in Harry Potter.
But the one can't, Lupin can't change whenever he wants, just when there's a full moon.
No.
But I don't know about the other ones, the bad guy ones.
Well, which movie are we talking about?
I don't know.
Because you got the
changes.
shapeshifters in there, too.
Yeah, those are the animagus people.
Yeah. I don't think they'd really be considered werewolves, even though they can change into wolves. Doesn't count.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think.
I don't know.
Maybe.
So, I don't think being a werewolf would be all that bad for the werewolf, anyway.
Agreed.
Probably for the people in the path of the werewolf, maybe.
Yeah, well, we all a little hungry,
Yeah.
But I would definitely be a werewolf over a vampire. For sure.
I'd have to think about it.
It's a big decision.
Somebody might shoot me if I'm a wolf.
Someone might shoot you if you're a vampire.
Yeah, but they wouldn't kill me.
Well, unless
It might hurt, though.
unless it was a silver bullet.
Isn't that
That
for
would
werewolves?
still sting too.
I thought that was for werewolves.
That's silver bullets for oh shit. This is a zombie show. This is
We're not experts on vampires
I'm
and
not
werewolves.
a scientist. We're not scientists, you guys. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, how about if we just review a short film and then we wrap up
Yeah,
this
let's
whole
move
show?
on. Let's
All
move-
right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for your letters. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Keep
you so
sending them in.
much.
Anything you want to know, just, let us know through the YouTube website or the Wages of Sin website. You can, the Facebook page for Wages of Sin.
Mm-hmm.
Wages of Sin.
I sent it to 123 Internet Street. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
Thank you, Jenna Marbles.
So, there's a short film that we saw that was very interesting.
Very interesting.
What is the short film called?
The short film this week is called Zombie Baby Killer.
And it's from 2015.
Mothers, calm down. I know, but calm down.
So, tell me a little bit about this short film that you liked.
Well, when I originally discovered this short film, I was just kind of perusing down the rabbit hole of YouTube. You know how we all like to do that sometimes. Well, I found this film called Zombie Baby Killer. And I believe it has one of those dolls that are maternity made. They're supposed to be very small infants. And they're very, very realistic. Which
Almost
adds
creepy realistic.
almost creepy realist. I wouldn't say almost, they're just fucking creepy. But it involves one of those. It's a little random, sporadic, but it's interesting, like we said.
So,
What are your personal thoughts on this particular
this
short?
particular short was created by a woman named Sabrina Lindberg. And before she made this, she was a collector of these realistic dolls, realistic baby or infant dolls. I think something had happened to this particular one in maybe a pet dog accident or something, and inspired her to make this short film called Zombie Baby Killer. I will say it was an amateur effort, but it had a lot of fun moments in it, and it was very creatively done. And I have not gone back and watched the two sequels, because there are two sequels.
There are two sequels.
And I haven't seen those, so I don't know if the filmmaking improved with those. Maybe it did. But I mean, feel free to go back and watch those 2 sequels. Zombie. I know what they were. I looked at them. Zombie Baby Killer Attacks Grandma, I think, was the 3rd one.
I think so.
And there was the Zombie Reborn Pool or something. It was the swimming pool one. But I'll go back and watch those and kind of give a judgment on those. So, the only thing about this particular short one that I thought, looking at it as a very amateur, almost first time movie making. She had made a lot of videos, but not movies, a scripted movie, is that I would like to have seen some resolution between the main character and the zombie baby. It just ended. There was not like a winner or loser, perhaps, in this thing, which I thought from a story perspective, I would like to have seen something, and then bring it back as a sequel, in whatever creative way you want. But
right.
that would be my critique of that. But like I said, it was fun. It was creatively done. I'm looking forward to seeing more of those.
Definitely. I thought that it had a lot of fun moments. I felt personally like there wasn't really any main storyline, but I think that's what I enjoyed most about it, is that it was just random, having fun, using what you have there and just going for it. You don't care if anybody likes it or doesn't like it. You just having a good time. And I thought, personally, it was absolutely horrible. I fucking loved it.
I thought it was great too. I agree. I think if I was telling somebody whether or not to watch it, I'd probably say if you have nothing better to do, see it. But I think there was a lot of effort and a lot of heart in it. And so maybe it deserves a little bit better review than rating than I'm giving it. I don't know what
if you're not giving it,
but,
I'm definitely saying drop what you're doing and go see it. I love it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Go see it right now.
That's it for me.
That's it for me. I was very excited about this short.
Yeah. So, that was our show for this week. And
thanks for all the fish. Wrong show.
Exactly. I think there were fish in the other short that we reviewed a few weeks ago.
It's true.
But that's it for Brainfood Reviewed this week. Thanks for joining us, and come back next time.
Definitely. This
and
is
we
Onslow.
we'll be talking about some more zombie stuff.
Always. What else are we going to talk about?
Personal stuff, movie stuff, letter stuff.
What are we going to do? Go get a life.
I see what you did there. I'm Onslow.
I'm Melee.
This is Brainfood Reviewed.
See you next time.